Hey, everybody. Thought I'd pop in for a quick moment and just share a quick dream interpretation. First, let me read the dream to you, and then I'll talk about the meaning of the dream. So, this was sent in by Debbie. And here's what she said. She said, there was a red car with a big tree trunk on top of it. Quite bizarre that it was able to drive. The man driving had something to do with a coworker of mine named Maddie. I sensed an abuser. He was following her around in this red car with a huge log on top. And that was the end of the dream. Very short dream, but very profound. And here's what I want to do first. I want to take out three key elements from this dream that are meant to be used symbolically. Okay, this is where we get hung up a lot of times in dreams. Dreams, the majority of the time, are meant to be symbolic. They're metaphorical. There's a lot of symbolism. All the numbers, the colors, everything that you see in dreams, they're usually meant to represent something. So, and that's certainly the case here. So I want to talk about the car, the fact that it was a red car, and then third, the big tree trunk on top of the car. First of all, in dreams, cars are used to signify something that the person is meant to operate in. Okay, like you operate a vehicle, a car is something we operate in. So, for example, it could be a job. It could be a family, like you function as a family, like that's a ministry, that's a calling. It could be anything like that, ministry position, an assignment, anything like that that the person is meant to operate in. Secondly, is the fact that it was red. Now, every color, every number, every symbol in dreams can be interpreted either with a positive connotation or with a negative connotation. And you have to look at the overall context of the dream to be able to determine which direction you should go. Now, in this case, obviously, as the dreamer even said, she kind of sensed that this person was a bit of an abuser. And the fact that the tree trunk was on top of the car, we kind of can understand that red is meant to probably mean something a little bit more in the negative sense. So when you look at the color red from a negative sense, it's a color of aggression. It's a color that evokes fear. It's a color that represents anger, rage, even things like that. And then combine that on top with the tree trunk that was plopped right on top of the vehicle. Now, trees in dreams are meant to signify leaders or people in positions of authority. So then you combine all three of those things together. Okay, we have the person operating this vehicle, misusing their role in leadership, right? Because a tree does not belong on top of a car, it belongs planted in the ground. But they're kind of riding around, with this tree trunk, misusing the position of leadership. And then the fact that it was red, it's causing fear. It's aggressive. It's a very aggressive color. So what this dream is meant to signify and reveal to the dreamer is that her coworker probably had an experience with somebody, a negative experience with somebody in a position of leadership at some point. The dream really doesn't tell us that this is happening right now. The driver was not identifiable. So this is not like, hey, there's somebody following you. This is meant more to signify that experience with somebody in a role of leadership caused something in Maddie, in this coworker, and it's following her around in life. Okay, it was abusive. It was a misuse of their leadership. And that never has been dealt with. And now it's kind of following her around in life. So why would the dreamer have been given this dream? As you can tell, the dreamer was nowhere in the dream. She functioned more as an observer, kind of watching the driver, watching her coworker, watching this kind of take place out in front of her. So the dream was given to her for revelation, to reveal something to her, that this is what's going on in her coworker's life. Now, I probably wouldn't recommend in a situation like this going to that coworker and saying, hey, I had a dream about you and here's what I saw. That's probably not going to be very helpful. Instead, the reason that God usually shows us things like this is because he's inviting us into a process. He cares for this coworker of the dreamer, and he knows that she is being held back. She's being tormented. She's being harassed by something that was a result of that experience with this misuse of leadership. And he wants her to have freedom for that. So he has trusted this dreamer who is close to her, who is somebody who is in proximity with her, and is revealing this to her, first of all, so that she would pray. Prayer would be a very appropriate response in this situation, but also to partner with God and see if there's anything that she can do to help release this coworker, to help bring healing, to help bring understanding, and redirect that so that this thing is not haunting her and pursuing her and following her all the days of her life. We are supposed to be followed by the love and the goodness of God, right? Not being haunted by something that took place that was a negative experience. So really profound dream, very short, but very meaningful. And once we can start to understand the symbolism, we can start unpacking the meaning of the dream. So hope that helps. Keep sending them in, guys. I'll get to as many as I can. Take care.